What's up guys, it's Kazumi. One fun fact about me is that I really love traveling. It's probably like one of my biggest hobbies. I've been to about 20 countries in the past 2 years. If I have any free time ever at all, if it's a weekend, if it's a day, if it's a month, if you don't know where I'm at, I'm probably overseas. So I wanted to share with you guys some of the fun little souvenirs I've grabbed while traveling. When I travel, I try to find a souvenir that's a little unconventional. You won't find me getting a magnet or a hat or any of that stuff. I usually look for things that kind of have a fun memory. So here we go. I'm going to share with you guys some of my favorite things. Starting off is this balikbayan box. This is pottery. So it's made to look like a cardboard box that's been opened up. It says balikbayan. Balikbayan is a practice we have in the Philippines, which is the country I'm from, where we give back to our community and our homeland. So obviously for someone like me who's doing pretty well in America, I usually will use my extra resources to send money and goods and pack it all up in this box to mail to the rest of my family. When I do that, usually just a sign of like love and respect for my elders and gratitude for the fact that I'm able to have a lot of opportunities living in America and being able to give back to my family back home. It's called balikbayan. It's very sentimental. It's a big practice in the Philippines, which is why it's specifically a little box and super cute. Sometimes I like to use it as a little vase. You can probably guess where I got this Jamaican Pikachu from. You're right, Istanbul. Just kidding, it's from Jamaica. This card is so cute. It says, "Hey, I just got my hairs braided in Jamaica. Having a great time, I must say, Jamaica, no problem." I don't actually know what that means. But yeah, this is like my little Jamaican Pikachu. For the longest, Jamaica was one of my favorite places to go to. I've probably been there about 3 to 4 times. I haven't been to the capital yet, Kingston, but I've been to Negril and Montego Bay like a billion times. I really love the beaches there. I like jerk chicken. I have been there for a few music fests. Actually, I saw Ty Dolla $ign the last time I was in Jamaica. One of the coolest things you can do in Jamaica is like go to one of those river things where you're on those like giant bamboo rafts and you just go down the river, and sometimes they'll give you like nice like massage that's like traditional, I think. I don't know. I got a massage in Jamaica. It was cool. This is from a different country. If you know your history, you might know who this is. This is the statue of David, which, I'm gonna quiz you. Is it found in which Italian country? Florence, Rome, Amalfi Coast? Ding, 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 you're correct. This is found in Florence, obviously created by Michelangelo, which is also coincidentally my favorite Ninja Turtle. He's 3D printed, bright pink, which is my favorite color. Florence is one of my favorite places to visit in Europe, specifically because of the food. Italy obviously is well known for its cuisine, but I find Florence to be one of my favorite places specifically to go to because the soil is actually so rich. And because the soil is super rich, things that are grown there are just genetically richer, superior in a way, such as their tomatoes. The meat there is super tender, super rich, super hearty. Everything feels like it's cooked and made with love. If you go to Florence, I would get the Florentine steak and the penne alla vodka. Oh my God, I love Italian food. One of my favorite places to visit and also super beautiful. Hopping over to another side of the globe, we are in Bali. I'm not gonna lie, I think this is Buddha, but I actually don't know if this might be Hindu either. I don't know. It's one of the religious figureheads that Indonesians worship. I got this in Ubud. Ubud is a neighborhood in Bali that is more known for its nature, being more spiritual. A lot of hippies go there. I've probably visited Bali the most out of any country I've been to, and I usually hang out in Canggu, which is kind of like the party area zone. It's a little bit like Miami, but Asia. Ubud is kind of like a place where people go to be calm. It's like in the middle of the island, so it's not near any beaches. It's surrounded by beautiful jungle, forests, monkeys. I got this in like the vintage market out there the first time I was there, and the first time I was in Bali completely changed my life. It was so beautiful. I've seen the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen. Looking at this just reminds me of all the amazing memories I've had there. This is actually my most recent trip. It's also super close to where we just were. This is in Japan. In Japan, they have these things that aren't necessarily like arcades. I don't know if they're called like gacha machines or plinko machines. It's just rows rows and rows of these like crane slot machines. You know, you put like some yen in there and you are able to grab like a prize. Usually I think those are a scam, but my friend that I was hanging out with swore up and down that like he was a master at getting those like crane prizes, and he told me that there was like a whole strategy behind it. Anyways, he got me this little cat and her name is Strawberry. Kind of like broke the myth. That was the first time I ever saw anyone win anything in a crane game like that, and it only cost him like maybe 1,000 yen. And last but not least is America. So I got this baseball in Alcatraz, which is a small, tiny island by San Francisco. It's a pretty cool place because Alcatraz is where they house a lot of prisoners. It's pretty infamous for Alcatraz prison, which held people like Al Capone and a lot of people from like the mafia. Here's a fun fact. I'm gonna read the box. Number 20, recreation. As a general rule, you will work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, with Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays devoted to recreation. Exercise yard activities include baseball, handball, and various table games. Not bad. Honestly, that seems like regular life. Major leagues in the big house, aka prison. In the fall of 1959, USP Alcatraz received visits from players of 3 different ball clubs, the Milwaukee Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Inmates and ball players alike seem to enjoy the visits. That's pretty cool that like these baseball players were hanging out with inmates and, I don't know, just playing ball with them. I am a California girl, specifically from Los Angeles, but I do have a lot of love for the Bay. I also just really like the vibe there. It's not as sunny. I feel like people kind of dress better. Every time I'm in the Bay, it feels like such a vibe. And also, I just find Alcatraz, especially that like prison island, to be such a fascinating place to like see historically while we can. Anyways, guys, that concludes just some of the souvenirs I've collected during some of my travels. Thank you guys so much for watching. I loved sharing this bit of myself with you guys, and I will see you guys soon. If you guys want to see more of me, you guys know where to go.